Well, they say good fences make good neighbors. Maybe not always. The owner of a bed and breakfast in Nanoose Bay says one of his neighbors has installed an electric fence that's stopping his guests from enjoying kayaking in the estuary. The guests who stay in the estuary are provided free use of kayaks while they're there, but with the electric fence over the estuary waterway, the property is essentially landlocked. Now, the neighbor who put up the fence says if there's anybody who's ruining the estuary, it's not him. Our Jonathan Bartlett has the story.
Yeah, that's it. We can duck under that one.
The electric fence appeared last weekend. At high tide, it would be impossible to get through by boat.
Watch your, you didn't get a zap, eh? No.
Harold Robinson runs in the estuary and provides his guests with free use of his kayaks. But they can't get very far now that this fence is installed.
They can't access the ocean anymore, and that's what we promote to try to get guests from all over the world coming into this area. And they're sort of stuck.
Robinson says he's complained to a number of government agencies, including the Regional District of Nanaimo, Environment Canada, and Transport Canada, to no avail. He says the public has a right to use this waterway, despite the fact the land on either side is private property.
The public is allowed on navigable waters, and there's definition in their act. Basically, anything that floats, you can't. The public is allowed to come in here. If they want to paddle, which people do, come in here and paddle and see us, or just paddle up the estuary, or we paddle out, whatever.
Of course, there's always two sides to every story, and the neighbor who put up the fence says he's not the bad guy here.
He, I suppose, should have bought waterfront if he wanted waterfront and not tried to trespass across my property. Things may have been different if he would have come to me and asked me to cross my property. He never has.
Robinson's home and guest house, which by the way is listed as a case file in the David Suzuki Foundation's High and Dry study, was built on thousands of cubic meters of trucked-in fill. Wiener says this part of the estuary has never been the same.
There's approximately 1 inch of water. There used to be less, but he tore down dikes and he built ponds, and the dikes were preventing the erosion of my property. Since he's built the house and tore down the dikes and dug the ponds, it's ripped through my property, so he's created a waterway. Now, I talked to DFO, and they equivalent it to the same as downtown Nanaimo flooding. People don't have the right to drive through your backyard in a motorboat if Nanaimo floods, for example.
There was an old dike in here. We took that out, and the ocean fisheries required us to create a lot more habitat than what we perceived to have maybe stopped. And so I went through all the proper channels.
Without a permit, the Regional District has ordered the fence posts removed, which Dave Wiener will comply with in the next few days. In Nanoose, Jonathan Bartlett, A News.